Rosa was the strong one, the dependable one, the one who smiled, nodded, and said, "It's fine," even though it wasn't. She was the first to say yes and the last one to ask for help. In relationships, she gave everything: her time, her energy, her voice, hoping love would finally feel safe. But it never did. Time after time, Rosa would end up in relationships where she felt invisible. Her needs were rarely met, her boundaries non-existent. She told herself it was because she was nice and easygoing, or that she didn't want to rock the boat. But deep down, Rosa was tired. She was tired of the patterns, tired of feeling resentful, used, overwhelmed, overlooked, being a pushover, tired of losing herself, in the hope that finally someone would choose her, love her, accept her. Her last relationship just broke her. She had given everything. She managed his stress, she kept the house running, she cooked, she cleaned, she worked. She played the peacekeeper in the family, making sure that everything was perfect. She would smile at every insult disguised as a joke. She thought, if I just loved harder, he'd change. He just needs more love. But instead, she lost herself completely. After the breakup, Rosa sat in her bedroom and was in tears. Recurring question that kept happening after every single relationship: why does this keep happening to me? Why do I always pick the wrong guy? Why do they always do this to me? She then realized maybe it was something about her, how she would always lose herself within this relationship. She noticed how this 12-step program helped her heal, how to accept herself, set boundaries, how to know that she was not alone. For once, she felt seen, she felt validated, she felt heard. Going through the 12-step program, she began step 1, admitting to the problem. She was a people pleaser, not because she was weak, but because she was conditioned to be, socially programmed by her culture, upbringing, trauma. It shaped her to believe that her worth came from service and silence. Step 2 taught her acceptance. She learned self-compassion. Maybe for the first time, she started saying, "Hey, I matter too." She actually meant it. She began to believe it within herself. By step 3, she was reflecting and exploring the roots of people-pleasing within herself. She discovered that that little girl part of her had learned that she needed to earn love, that there was conditions with love, and finally began to reprogram and reparent herself with kindness. Step 4, Rosa started setting boundaries. She realized no didn't make her mean. It made her healthy. And saying no didn't mean she was a bad person. You can be a good person and say no, is what she realized. The 12-step group became her mirror. Other women shared stories surrounded like hers. She knew that she was not alone. Week after week, they celebrated each other's wins, offering support for one another unconditionally, without judgment. As she worked through step 5 through step 10, she noticed a change within herself. She stopped performing and started living. She no longer needed to be everything for everyone. She just needed to be true to herself. And by step 12, something beautiful happened. Rosa looked in the mirror. She didn't see a pushover. She didn't see a people pleaser. She saw an empowered, resilient, authentic person. She saw for the first time who she was deep down, that it was just shining bright within her. She finally saw herself, her real self. So today, Rosa has a new kind of relationship. One where her voice is heard, her opinions matter, where she's validated, and she's confident in speaking up, being brave enough to speak up. More importantly, she's in a loving, respectful relationship within herself. She doesn't have to chase love anymore. She embodies it. She knows that within herself, she's accepted that she is worthy and deserving. She loves herself, respects herself, validates her own emotions so much that she only allows the people that's around her to do just the same. In order to change, she realized she had to change within herself. Rosa's story reminds us that healing is possible. The journey to empowerment, resilience, and authenticity is possible. Change is real, and you're never too far gone to begin your journey. And if you see yourself in this and have a similar story, then there's space for you here in Empowering Women in Conversations and in the Empower Pathways community. You don't have to keep breaking your heart in order to be loved. You can replace that pattern. Let's walk through the 12 steps together and begin the conversation.
Welcome to Empowering Women in Conversations, podcast to empower and uplift women by providing a safe space for them to share their stories and experiences and encourage the strength, resilience, and power of women. If you are tired of putting others' needs before your own, leading to burnout and resentment, and you are ready to transform and create relationships that are supportive rather than draining, join us on this journey of women overcoming adversities and achieving their true empowerment. Here's your host, a licensed professional counselor, Anita Sandoval.
Welcome back to Empowering Women in Conversations. I'm your host, Anita Sandoval, licensed professional counselor and founder of Empower Her Pathways and fellow recovering people pleaser. In today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into something that has changed my life and the lives of so many women in our community. I will be talking about the 12-step program on overcoming people-pleasing and appeasing. If you ever felt exhausted from doing everything that everyone else wants you to do, or you stayed in failed relationships because you were too afraid to say no, and if you ever felt like you've lost yourself somewhere along the way, as I would like to call it, soul erosion, then this episode is for you. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 12 steps. I will share with you the mission behind this program. I will highlight the purpose of each step and leave you with a small challenge and a win to carry with you. So the mission for the 12-step program for people pleasing is simple. My goal is to help women who are people pleasers in failed relationships become empowered, resilient, and authentic. Without feeling guilt, without feeling shame, putting themselves first in order for them to be there for others. This is not about being selfish. It's about becoming whole. It's about knowing the difference between self-love and selflessness. It's about breaking the chains of generations of conditionings of family, culture, society, programming that tells us how women should be appeasing, how women should be nice, how women should be kind. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but it should not come to the expense of burdening and sacrificing our own self-identity and self-worth. In a society that tells us that worth comes from self-sacrifice. So the purpose is to guide you step by step through a healing journey to help you recognize the patterns, rewrite the story, and reconnect with who you really are beneath the pleasing and appeasing. Okay, so let's go into the steps. Step number 1, admitting the problem. I've had many people come into my practice going, what is this people pleasing and appeasing? I'm not a people pleaser. The first stage is becoming aware of what you're not aware of. So you might feel some sense of shock and denial. And if this isn't you, then that's okay. However, for those that do become aware and enlightened that you are a people pleaser and that you use this as a coping mechanism to feel safe for the short term, step one is for you, admitting the problem. We admit that we've been programmed culturally, emotionally, to put others before ourselves, and it's made our lives unmanageable. The challenge here is to just take a moment today and write down 3 ways people pleasing has held you back from living authentically. A quick win is just creating awareness that the first step to change is becoming aware. It's that simple. Step 2 is about acceptance and self-compassion. We recognize that we don't do this alone, but with the right support, we can heal. Knowing that you're not alone in this journey is the biggest support you can have into creating a successful change and becoming empowered and becoming resilient, into building healthy relationships and being confident in saying no. The challenge on step 2 is to offer yourself one kind thought today. Something like, I deserve space to grow. I'm choosing myself first. I'm learning how to be kind to myself. The quick win here in step 2 is just learning how you're beginning to choose yourself. Even if it is within your mind and a thought that you could consider yourself first before others is a win. Step number 3, self-reflection. Here we explore what's behind the pattern. Is it fear? Is it rejection? Is it abandonment? Needing validation? Childhood trauma? You want to explore within yourself what's behind the people-pleasing. What's the negativity, the emotion, the story in your head that you're telling yourself if you don't people-please? What's the worst that could happen? In this challenge, you want to journal for about 5 minutes about a recent time you said yes when you really meant no. What was underneath that? What was the fear behind that? The quick win here is self-awareness. It leads to freedom. Just becoming aware on the reasoning behind the people-pleasing will show you the path and journey you need to take to move forward. Step number 4, identifying boundaries. Here we realize we're worthy of having needs and boundaries. We cannot have healthy relationships if we don't have boundaries. Every healthy relationship has healthy conflicts. And within healthy conflicts, there are healthy boundaries. These boundaries show how we can respect ourselves and how we can respect others at the same time. The challenge here is to identify one area of your life where you need clearer boundaries and just say it. Say it out loud. You don't have to have anybody there with you. Just saying it out loud helps you make it real within yourself. One of the strategies I also say, take some plush animals, take some picture frames. You can put a picture of a person you want to set a boundary with, and just role play and set that intention and boundaries to that person, but also within yourself. The quick win here is that even naming your need is a powerful step. Thinking about it, saying it out loud. You don't have to have another person in front of you. Just saying it makes it real for you. No need for anyone to validate what it is you want when you are more than enough to validate your own self. Step number 5, communicating needs. Here we practice honesty, assertiveness, communication. There are 3 types of communication. The message that is being said with passivity is saying, your opinion is more important than mine. Not saying anything is still a choice. Is still saying your opinion is more important than mine. This is where the resentment comes in. It is not a healthy way in the long run to keep a relationship. The second one is aggressiveness. Aggressiveness is where we impose our own opinions over to others. The message there is saying, my opinion is more important than your opinion. See, in passivity, you're saying their opinion is important, mine isn't. The aggressive communication is saying, my opinion is more important than your opinion. For most unhealthy relationships, it bounces around from one to the other, saying, okay, your opinion is more important than mine. Okay, well, you know what? Tomorrow, my opinion will be more important than yours. And we're just bouncing back and forth, switching the resentment and the negativity from one person to the other, which in the end will accumulate and it will build until finally something happens and it explodes. And then it will replay the cycle over again. The third option is called assertiveness. Assertiveness is sending the message that their opinion is important. At the same time, your own opinion is also important. And let's take a step back here. Some people are going, what? We can actually have it where both people's opinions are important? Yes. There is no value to any opinions unless you give it that value. We can have different opinions and yet give it the same importance. Just because you respect their opinion doesn't mean you have to agree with them or do what they're saying. You can respectfully agree to disagree. So the challenge here is to say one thing you need today without apology because your voice matters. Step number 6, we embrace the courage to say no. And we trust that others can take care of themselves. The challenge here is to say no to one small thing this week that drains you. So this is quite a challenge once we go to step 6, because we have to allow others to take care of themselves. We assume that by people pleasing, we're helping others, when in fact, we are harming them by enabling them to be codependent onto us to fix their problems. I'm not talking about little kids. I'm not talking about taking care of the basic needs of your children that are under 18. Because even children, you want to allow them within their developmental stage for them to learn, grow, and change within themselves to problem solve so that they could know that they can do it as well. And you want to give them that space. So at times, saying no allows that space for others to grow and within yourself to grow as well. So the win here is that every no to others is a yes to yourself. Step number 7, self-care and prioritizing. Here we start putting ourselves on the list, not at the bottom, but at the top. You want to schedule 30 minutes this week just for you. No guilt, no explanation. You're not an afterthought. You are a first thought. You are a priority. Be it taking a walk, be it just doing nothing because it is your nothing, be it taking a shower or a bath. Step number 8, establishing a support system. We find the people who honor our boundaries and celebrate our growth. This is one of the biggest obstacles because at times I hear people going, well, they don't support me. And I keep telling them, but they don't understand. We're not here to make people understand. The first person that needs to understand is yourself. To know that we can't change other people. To know that we have to look for people that are judgment-free, that are understanding, that are there for you unconditionally. So if there's someone that is not being supportive and is not willing to change, we cannot make them change. You need to find the right type of people, and it is not them. So the challenge here is to reach out to one person who supports your healing, not change them to support you, but looking into someone that does support your healing and share a piece of your journey. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, to trust them. You don't have to do this alone. Success of any change is equal to the support that you have. And if you can't find any support, seeking professional help, finding the right therapist for you to help you find that support, to help you in just giving you that support is fundamental in your success. Step number 9, forgiveness. We forgive ourselves for abandoning our own needs. We start reflecting on the ways that we neglected ourselves. And at times we tend to having our inner critic putting us down. How could you do this? I can't believe you did that. We want to allow ourselves that space to be compassionate, to forgive ourselves for abandoning our own needs. You can write a letter to yourself. You can talk within yourself saying, I forgive myself for all the things that I neglected to do within myself, but I'm making a choice to move forward and put myself first as much as I can. Forgiving those past choices made from fear or conditioning, and knowing that even though we are scared, we're still moving forward and we become confident and brave to choose ourselves first before others. The quick win here is forgiveness is freedom, allows us to move forward in our journey. Step number 10, mindfulness and awareness. Here we watch for relapse, and it will happen. We meet it with compassion, not criticism. Keep in mind that people-pleasing and appeasing is an autonomic nervous response. What does that mean? That whenever we're scared or we feel threatened, your go-to is to people-please, and that's okay. We pause, we become aware of it, we reflect on the situation, we learn from the situation, we forgive ourselves, we come up with a resolution to become empowered, resilient, and authentic. We seek our support system if in case we can't do it alone. The challenge here is to pause before every yes this week. You want to ask yourself, do I really want this? And at times I always tell people to talk to their loved ones and say, look, I am a people pleaser. I'm working on becoming empowered. I'm working on loving myself. And so I am quick to say yes, even when I say no. You're going to hear me say no a lot. And you're going to hear me say, let me think about it. And I really want to work on what is important for me before I am quick to say yes. The people that push back, that may not like what you are doing, are mostly the ones that would want to take advantage of you. So reflect on those relationships and ask yourself, do they really want to be with me? Or is it the service I provide for them? The quick win here is you want to catch the pattern in real time. Once you are quick in catching your pattern, you're quick to replace that pattern. You can't change a habit, but you can replace it. And being consistent with the new habit helps maintain yourself in becoming empowered, resilient, and authentic. Step number 11, personal growth. Here we commit daily our intentional growth, not perfection. Doesn't matter how you move forward, whether you're falling down, hey, you're still falling down forward. Whether you're walking baby steps, whether you're crawling, doesn't matter. The goal is to keep moving forward. Just because you failed doesn't mean it's a setback. It's a life learning experience. The challenge here is to set one empowering intention for the week. So what is your intention for the week? You're becoming the woman that you were always meant to be. What is your intention? Is your intention to say no? Is your intention to become empowered? How can you do that? Step number 12, helping others. You want to be able to share your story because someone else needs to know that they're not alone. You want to share one takeaway from this episode with a friend, family member, or someone that you know is a people pleaser. Let them know your story. Let them know you're not alone. Your voice might be the permission someone else is waiting for. Know that the journey is not perfect. It's about becoming real. It's about becoming empowered. It's about becoming whole. You don't have to stay stuck in this people-pleasing pattern. You can definitely break the cycle, replace it, and choose a new path. And for those of you that do not have a support system, feel free to join the Empower Her Pathways online community that is free. We can walk through these 12 steps in a supportive, safe, sacred space, being with like-minded women committed to healing, becoming empowered. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. Healing happens together. As you reflect back on Rosa's journey and your own journey, I want to leave you with this quote by Brené Brown. It's one of my favorites. Daring to set boundaries is about the courage to love ourselves, even if we risk disappointing others. You're not alone in this. You're not too much. You're not being melodramatic, and you're certainly not too late to rewrite your story and begin your journey to freedom and authenticity and build successful relationships within yourself and others. Until our next conversation. Take care.
An episode. Thanks for listening to Empowering Women in Conversation with your conversation host, licensed professional counselor, your journey to empowerment continues. And remember, please share with someone you know who will find this conversation helpful and inspiring. Compassionate. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Go out until our next empowered conversation with your host, licensed professional counselor, Anita Sandoval. And remember, we are brave. We are strong. We are compassionate. We are women empowered.